Jasmine believed some stories were only for one magical night. She never imagined that a single evening would pull her into a world of danger, desire, and a love so powerful it would change her life forever. The music was so loud Jasmine could feel it in her chest. She stood near the wall of the Grand Hotel ballroom, feeling like a fish out of water. Everyone around her wore beautiful, glittering masks and expensive clothes, laughing and dancing. Her friend Chloe had dragged her here, promising a night of fun, but Jasmine just felt out of place. She slipped away from the crowd, pushing open a heavy glass door that led to a quiet balcony. The cool night air was a relief. Below, the city lights twinkled like a carpet of stars. Escaping the noise, a deep voice asked. Jasmine turned. A tall man stood a few feet away, leaning against the railing. His mask was simple and black, but it couldn't hide his strong jaw or the intense way he was looking at her. He was handsome in a way that felt a little dangerous. Something like that, she said, her voice softer than she intended. He moved closer. I'm Roman. He didn't smile, but his eyes were focused entirely on her, making her feel like she was the only person in the world. I'm Jasmine. They talked. He asked her real questions, listening to her answers about her art classes and her job at the library. He was different from the loud men inside. He was calm and powerful, and being near him made her heart beat fast. It's too loud in there, he said after a while. My private suite is upstairs. We could talk where it's quiet. Jasmine knew she should say no. This was a stranger. But something in his eyes made her feel safe and excited all at once. Taking a deep breath, she made a decision that would change everything. Okay, she whispered. Just for a little while. Roman's suite was nothing like Jasmine had ever seen. It was all soft lights, huge windows, and furniture that looked both expensive and comfortable. The door clicked shut, sealing them in a quiet, private world. The sounds of the party were completely gone. He turned to her, his gaze soft but intense. You can take your mask off now. With slightly trembling fingers, Jasmine untied the ribbon and let her mask fall into her hands. Roman did the same. Without the disguise, his face was even more striking. He had dark, serious eyes that seemed to see right into her soul. You're even more beautiful without it, he said, his voice a low murmur. He stepped closer and Jasmine's breath hitched. He gently cupped her face in his hands, his thumbs stroking her cheeks. Then he leaned down and kissed her. It started softly, a gentle exploration. But soon, it grew deeper, filled with a passion that swept Jasmine away. All her nervousness melted under his touch. He led her to the bedroom. The world outside ceased to exist. There was only his touch, his whispered words against her skin, and the overwhelming feeling of being wanted. When the moment came, she clung to him, a single tear slipping down her cheek. It was her first time, a secret she had kept close to her heart. Afterward, he held her, his arms a strong, warm cage around her. He had felt her hesitation, her innocence. Jasmine? He whispered into her hair. Was that your first time? She simply nodded, burying her face in his chest, too overwhelmed to speak. Roman went very still. This changed everything. This wasn't just a fun night anymore. The woman in his arms had given him a priceless gift, and he felt a fierce, sudden need to protect her, to keep her close. He was utterly captivated. Roman woke to the smell of Jasmine's perfume on his pillows and the empty space beside him. He sat up quickly, his heart pounding. The bathroom was empty. The main room was silent. She was gone. A cold fury mixed with a strange panic settled in his chest. No one just walked away from him. On his nightstand he found a simple note written on hotel stationery. Thank you for a beautiful night. Jay, that was all. No number. No promise to call. She had slipped away as quietly as she had arrived. He called his bodyguard and cousin, Luca, his voice tight with command. I need you to find someone. A woman named Jasmine. She was at the gala last night. That's all I have. Find her. Luca was surprised. Roman never pursued women. They pursued him. Of course, boss. I'll start right away. But the city was big and a first name was a small clue. Days turned into a week. Roman found himself distracted, his thoughts constantly drifting back to the quiet girl with the innocent eyes who had given him her virginity and then disappeared. His obsession grew with each passing day she remained missing. 2 weeks later, Roman was at the Chicago Art Institute, finalizing a large donation. As he walked through the grand halls, a soft, familiar voice caught his attention. He stopped dead. There she was. Jasmine. She was wearing a simple dress and leading a group of small, excited children on a tour. She was pointing to a painting, her face lit up with passion as she explained it to them. She was even more beautiful in the daylight. Roman waited, his eyes fixed on her. When the children were led away by another teacher, he moved. He walked up to her before she could leave. Jasmine. She spun around, her eyes wide with shock. A blush instantly colored her cheeks. Roman. What are you doing here? I've been looking for you, he said, his voice low and intense. You left without saying a proper goodbye. I thought it was just one night, she stammered, clutching a folder to her chest like a shield. It wasn't, he stated, his gaze holding hers. Not for me. I want to see you again. A proper date. Tonight. It wasn't really a question. It was a determined statement from a man who was not used to being told no. Jasmine was flustered. Roman's presence was so powerful, it felt like the air in the museum hallway got thinner. A date, she repeated, her voice barely a whisper. Yes, Roman said, his tone leaving no room for argument, yet his eyes were surprisingly soft. I will pick you up at 7. Where do you live? Still in a daze, Jasmine gave him her address. He nodded, a satisfied look on his face, and then he was gone, leaving her standing alone with her heart racing. That evening he arrived exactly on time in a sleek, black car. He took her to a quiet, elegant restaurant where they could talk. Over dinner he was a perfect gentleman. He asked about her art, her dreams, and listened intently to her answers. He made her laugh. The intense, dangerous man from the balcony was still there, but he was showing her a gentle, charming side she hadn't seen. Jasmine felt her defenses crumbling. She was starting to fall for him. For the next few weeks, Roman carefully wove himself into the fabric of her life. He would appear at the library where she worked, bringing her coffee. He took her to see the symphony. Jasmine knew he was a powerful man, but he was always so gentle and respectful with her. One night, as they were walking to his car after a movie, 2 rough-looking men stepped out of the shadows. They didn't say a word to Jasmine. They looked straight at Roman. Silas sends his regards, one of them growled. In a flash, Roman pushed Jasmine safely behind him. The movement was so fast and protective it stole her breath. There was a brief, violent struggle. Roman disarmed one man and the other ran off. He stood tall, his breathing steady, his body shielding hers completely. Jasmine was trembling. Who was that? Who is Silas? Roman turned to her, his face grim. He knew the time for secrets was over. Jasmine, he said, taking her hands. I need to tell you the truth. I'm not just a businessman. I am the head of a family. A mafia family. Those men were from a rival group. The word mafia hit her like a physical blow. She pulled her hands away, her eyes wide with terror. A criminal? You're a criminal? She shook her head, tears forming. I can't do this. I can't be part of this world. She turned and ran, leaving him standing alone on the dark street. Heartbroken, Roman let her go. He understood her fear. His world was a dark one and she was pure light. He would not force her. But his rival, Silas, saw Jasmine's departure as a victory. He decided to press his advantage. A few days later, as Jasmine walked home from the library, a car pulled up beside her. The window rolled down to reveal one of the men from the attack. That's a pretty face, he sneered. It would be a shame if something happened to it. Stay away from Roman if you know what's good for you. The car then sped away, leaving Jasmine shaking on the sidewalk. The threat should have terrified her. It did. But it also did something else. It made her angry. It made her realize that the danger was real, and that hiding from Roman wouldn't make it go away. He was the only one powerful enough to stop it. Jasmine went to Roman's penthouse. When he opened the door, he was surprised to see her. Jasmine? Are you all right? No, she said, her voice trembling but firm. They threatened me. They told me to stay away from you. She stepped closer, looking up into his eyes. I was scared of your world. I still am. But I'm more scared of a life without you in it. I choose you, Roman. I choose you and your world. Roman's stern expression melted into one of overwhelming love and relief. He pulled her into a tight embrace. You will never regret it, he whispered into her hair. I will make sure you are safe. Always. Now that the woman he loved was officially a target, Roman knew he had to end the conflict with Silas for good. He could not risk a war that would put Jasmine in the crossfire. He devised a clever plan, not of violence but of business. He would ruin Silas financially, stripping him of his power and his allies, making him powerless and harmless. Roman's plan worked perfectly. Using his intelligence and resources, he exposed Silas's secret financial crimes to the authorities and the other powerful families. Without support and with the police closing in, Silas was left with nothing. The threat to Jasmine and Roman was over for good. With peace finally secured, Roman took Jasmine to a quiet, beautiful garden. He held both of her hands in his heart full of a love he never thought he could feel. "Jasmine," he began, his voice thick with emotion. "From the moment you walked away that first morning, I knew I could never let you go. You are the best part of my life. You are my peace." He let go of her hands and got down on one knee, pulling a small velvet box from his pocket. "Will you marry me? Will you let me spend the rest of my life making you as happy as you have made me?" Tears of pure joy streamed down Jasmine's face. She looked at the man who had fought his own darkness to build a safe world for her. "Yes," she whispered, her voice filled with love. "Yes, Roman. 1,000 times yes." He slipped the ring on her finger and stood to kiss her, sealing their promise under the sun. Their love had begun as a single night of passion, but it had grown into an unbreakable bond, proving that even the most guarded heart can find its way home when true love is the guide. Did this story of a powerful man changed by love capture your heart? If you enjoyed Roman and Jasmine's passionate journey, please let us know by leaving a like and subscribing for more dramatic romance stories.